Good morning, guys. In today's class, we're going to study about sensors and actuators. So, in that sensors, first we're going to see what do you mean by a sensor and what do you mean by actuators and the I/O system bus. So, I/O system bus is of N8 types. One is light emitting diode, 7-segment display, optocoupler, stepper motor, relay, piezo buzzer, push button switch, keyboard. So, all these things we're going to see in detail in this class. Okay, so first we're going to see what do you mean by a sensor. Okay, so before going to sensor, we're going to look out an introduction about transducer, which is represented here. What do you mean by a transducer? A transducer which converts one form of energy into another. For example, temperature is a physical quantity that can be sensed by the device and that can convert into an electrical energy. So basically, a transducer is which converts one form of energy into another form. Okay. So the example of transducer is an incandescent light bulb that converts electrical energy into light energy. So one more example, an electrical motor converts electrical energy into a motion. So this transducer will going to convert one form of energy into another form. Now we are going to see the definition of a sensor. A sensor is a transducer device that converts energy from one form to another form for measurement or control purpose. So sensors are basically will also called as detectors. So a sensor is a transducer that converts energy from one type to another type for any particular thing. So for example, for sensor is a temperature sensor. So a temperature sensor is a device that collects the data about temperature from a particular source and convert the data into understandable form for a device or an observer. So now we're going to see the difference between this transducer and a sensor. So the main difference between sensor and a transducer is that transducer is a device that convert energy from one form to another, whereas sensor is a device that can detect a physical quantity and convert the data into an electrical signal. So next we're going to see about actuators. So what do you mean by actuator? So actuator is a form of transducer. Again, a transducer is the one which converts one form of energy into another form. So actuator is also a form of transducer device which converts signal into corresponding physical action. Actuators acts as an output device. Okay. So this is about the sensors and actuators. So next we're going to see about I/O subsystems. What do you mean by I/O subsystem? So I/O subsystem will going to facilitate the interaction of embedded system with the actual world or the external world. So interaction happens through sensors and actuators. Sometimes the sensors and actuators used in embedded system and the I/O system in order to interact with the external world are, so these are the 8. One is light emitting diode, 7-segment display, optocoupler, stepper motor, relay, geo buzzer, push button switch, and a keyboard. So we're going to look out all these things in detail. First, we're going to see about light emitting diode, that is LED. So which we're going to use in our day-to-day life. So light emitting diode is an important output device. Keep it in mind, it's an output device. So LED can be used as an indicator for the status of various signals or situation. So typical example for LEDs are used where typical examples where LEDs used are device on, whether to indicate a battery low or to whether to indicate a battery is charging. So here we are going to use this LEDs. So light emitting diode, that is LED diode is a PN junction diode, is a PN junction diode where it contains an anode and a cathode. So for proper functioning of this LED, the anode should be connected to positive terminal of the power supply, whereas the negative end should be connected to a negative terminal of the power supply, or the negative end will be connected to a ground. So for the functioning of this LED, the positive terminal of this LED should be connected to a positive voltage, whereas the negative end will be connected to a negative voltage or to a ground. Okay. So next we're going to see about 7-segment display, and you guys know about the 7-segment display, and we have done experiment on the 7-segment display also. So 7-segment LED display is an output device. Again, the 7-segment display is an output device for displaying alphanumeric characters. What do you mean by alphanumeric? It contains, you're going to display the alphabets and the numbers. Hence, it is used for displaying alphanumeric characters. It contains 8 light emitting diode. So those are 7 A to F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So which indicates 7, and the plus 1 is this DP. So 8 LED segments. So 7 are used for displaying alphanumeric. So these 7 segments are used for displaying alphanumeric numbers, and 8th one is a wait a minute, decimal point. So 81 dp is a decimal point. So the LED segments are named A to G, and decimal point LED segment is named as dp. So the LED segment A to G and dp should be lit accordingly to lit up the number and character. For example, for displaying the number 4, the segments F, G, B, C should lit up. So for displaying 3, A, B, G, C, D should lit up. Whereas for in order to display an alphabet A, E, F, A, B, G, C should lit up. This is how the LED will going to work. So this LED is of divided into two. One is common anode and another one is common cathode. So the 7-segment display divided into two configuration, that is one is common anode and the common cathode. So in common anode configuration, the anodes, in common cathode configuration, the anodes of 8 segments, that means anode means the positive ends of these 8 segments are connected in common to the negative end, whereas in anode the positive end of the segments common anode the configuration, the anodes of 8 segments are connected commonly to my anode. So what this common anode and common cathode will going to say, the negative end of the cathode will be connected in common to a negative end, whereas in common anode the positive end will be connected to a common anode type. So this is the configuration of common anode and the common cathode. Okay, so next we are going to see about optocouplers. What do you mean by an optocoupler? Optocoupler is a solid state device to isolate two parts. See, optocoupler is a combination of LED and a phototransistor. So it's a combination of two. One is LED and another one is phototransistor. So optocoupler is a solid state device in order to isolate two parts of a circuit. So here the example where the optocoupler is a combination of LED and a phototransistor. So in electronic circuit, an optocoupler is used for suppressing the interface in first one in data communication. It's going to suppress interface in data communication. Second one is circuit isolation. Third one is high voltage. Fourth one is simultaneous separation and signal intensification. So this is where the optocouplers are used. So optocouplers are used in data communication, circuit isolation, high voltage separation, same and signal intensification. So optocouplers can be used in either input circuits or in output circuits. So optocoupler is used in input circuit and output circuit, where the input, so the optocoupler is a combination of LED and transistor. This will be acting as an input interface, and the other end, the right hand side, will be acting as an output interface. There is no much explanation about this optocoupler input and output circuit. So this is what they have mentioned. So one end will be acting as an input interface and another end will be acting as an output interface. So these optocouplers are obtained through an ICs. We can get this optocoupler through ICs. There is an inbuilt IC where we are going to get optocoupler input and output circuit. So next is stepper motor. So the stepper motor experiments you guys will be doing in your laboratories. Now we're going to see the theory of the stepper motor, how the stepper motor works. A stepper motor is an electrochemical mechanical device which generates discrete motion. So in response to DC electrical signals. So it differs from normal DC motor in its operation. So what the DC motor will going to do? So the DC motor produces continuous rotation on applying DC voltage. So whereas stepper motor produces discrete rotation on applying DC voltage. Based on the coil windings arrangement, there are two phases of stepper motor divided into. So one is unipolar and another one is bipolar. So there is a difference between a DC motor and a stepper motor. DC motor produces a continuous rotation, whereas stepper motors produces a discrete rotation. So depending upon the coil winding, it's of two types. One is unipolar and second one is bipolar. What do you mean by unipolar stepper motor? So unipolar stepper motor contains two windings per phase. See, this is one phase where we have two windings, A winding and C winding. And the second phase, B and D windings are there. So direction of rotation can be a clockwise or anti-clockwise. So in unipolar, stepper motors contains two windings, that is A and C is of one phase and B and D is of second phase. So the direction of rotation can be either clockwise or an anti-clockwise. It is controlled by so stepper motor is controlled by changing the direction of current flow. So current in one direction flows through one coil. So the direction of the current will be in one direction and it flows through one coil and in opposite direction of rotation, and opposite direction flows through the other coil. So if the current is flowing in this direction, from this direction, the opposite end will be flowing in opposite direction. So this will going to make the rotation of this coil. So next we're going to see about bipolar stepper motor. So bipolar stepper motor contains one winding per phase. So for reversing the motor rotation, the current flow through the windings is reversed dynamically. See, for example, so there are four windings, 1, 2, 3, and 4 windings, where one end of the winding will be connected as C. This is the C winding, which we have seen earlier. This is the C winding, and opposite end will be my A winding. So this is C and this is C. And this is A. So the C, one end will be connected to C and another end will be connected to A, and the other part of the ends will be connected to a ground. So whereas the opposite ends are B and D. So this is my B and this is my D. So one end is been connected to B, one end is been connected to B, and another end is connected to D, whereas the other end of these two will be connected to a ground. So this is how the bipolar stepper motor is off. So the different stepping modes supported by stepper motor are full step, wave step, and off step. We're going to see in detail about this full step, wave step, and off step. So what do you mean by a full step? A full step, in full step mode, both the phases are energized simultaneously. Both the phases means there will be a coil A and coil B. So these both the phases should be energized simultaneously. So there will be a two coil which has been energized. See, the coil A will be of I and coil B will be of I, and rest other two will be of low. In full step, both the phases are energized. That if both the phases are coil A and coil B will be energized, whereas the other two coils will be in low state. So here the coil A is low, coil B is I, C is I, and D is low. So here also two phases are energized, whereas in third step, two phases are energized. In fourth, also two coils are energized, whereas in wave step, only one phase are energized and each coil of the phase energized alternatively. See, in first step, the first coil will going to energize and rest of them will be of low state. So in second step, the alternative. So first one was higher, then we will going to energize the second one and rest others will be of low. And in third step, all the first two will be of low and the alternative coil C will be high and the coil D will be low. And in fourth, the first things will be of low and next will be first three will be low and the fourth one will be high. So in arc step, it uses the combination of both full step and wave step. So the first step, it will going to use a full step. So full step is, see, so full step is HHLL. So it will going to use HHLL. This is full step. So whereas in step one, it will going to use the wave setup. The wave setup is first one will be high and rest other three will be low. So this is wave step. First one will be high, the rest three will be low. So whereas in third, it will going to use wave step. So low and second term will be high and rest of the things will be low. So in fourth, it will going to use this full step. So low, high, high, low. So fourth will be low, high, high, low. So same way for all these 8 steps, it will going to use the both full step and the wave step. So this is what the stepper motor is. So next we will going to see about relay. What do you mean by a relay? So relay is an electromechanical device. In embedded system, the relay unit acts as a dynamic path selectors for signal and power. So the relay unit contains a relay coil. So this is what the relay coil. So the relay unit contains of relay coil made up of an insulated wire on a metal core. Made up of an insulated metal coil, metal core, and a metal armature with one or more contacts. So this is metal armature. So relay unit contains a relay coil which is made up of an insulated wire on a metal core, insulated wire on a metal core, and a metal armature with one or more contacts. So relay works on electromagnetic principle. So relay are available in 3 different configuration, that is single pole, single throw, normally open, single pole, single throw, normally closed, that is one is open, the one other one will be closed, and single pole, double throw. So we are going to see in detail, not through the diagrams. So in single pole, single throw configuration, as only one path for information flow. There is a one path in order to flow of information. So for normally open signal, for this one open signal throw relay, open signal throw relay, the circuit is normally open and becomes closed when the relay is energized. So it will going to get open when the relay is energized, whereas in closed, it will be a vice versa. So closed pole signal throw configuration, the circuit is normally closed and becomes open when the relay is energized. So which is of vice versa of open. So in open, the circuit is normally open. When it becomes closed, the relay is energized. So normally it will be a open. So in open, normally it will be open. It will be closed when the relay is energized. So in this, normally the circuit will be closed. When it is going to open? When the relay is energized. For single pole double throw relay, there are 2 paths for information flow and they are selected by energizing or de-energizing the relay. So there are 2 paths. So it will be opened by energizing or by de-energizing. So this is all about the relay. So next is piezo buzzer. Piezo buzzer is an piezoelectric device for generating audio. Piezo buzzer contains piezoelectric diaphragm. Piezo buzzer available in 2 steps. One is self-driving. What do you mean by a self-driving? It contains all the necessary components to generate sound at predefined tone. So in self-driving, the tone will be predefined, whereas in external driving, the tone will be of a different one. So This is about the piezo buzzer. So next is push button switch. What do you mean by a push button switch? Push button switch is an input device. So push button switch comes in two configuration, push to make and push to break. So in push to make configuration, the switch is normally in open state and makes a circuit contact when it is pushed or pressed. So push to make will be open when the circuit is pushed or pressed. So push to break configuration, the switch is normally in closed state and it breaks when the circuit contact when it is pushed or pressed. So this is about push button switch. So next we're going to see about keyboard. What do you mean by a keyboard? So as you guys know, keyboard is an input device. So the number of key required is very limited in this keyboard. Due to the limitation of number of keys, it uses port pins. In order to overcome this, we will going to use a matrix keyboard. See, for example, for interface of 16 keys in direct interfacing technique, it requires 16 port pins. Whereas in matrix keyboard, it will going to use only 8 lines that are 4 rows into 4 columns, which is going to make a 16 keys, which is shown in this figure. So there will be 4 rows and there will be a 4 column, which will going to make the 16 keys. This is what about the sensors and actuators. So we're going to meet in next class. Thank you.